energy level, 20% increase. I always wanted a thing called tuna sashimi. 3, 2, 1.
Hello guys, Toon here, back again. Time for another review. This time we got Knights of the Round on the Super Nintendo. This was a Capcom arcade game which came out in November in 1991. It was a CPS1 game. It's a scroll-along beat-em-up. I say, as you may know, Capcom were very good at doing scroll-along beat-em-ups in the arcades. They made quite a lot of really cool games with fun, and probably one of their best actually. But yeah, they were very good at making scroll-along beat-em-ups. Capcom released to the Famicom, well, the Super Famicom or the Super Snes. It didn't get converted to anything else until later on, where the Capcom collection, PS2, and there's a version of this game actually on there. This is a scroll-along beat-em-up, as you can see, with basically the arcade version had 3 characters to choose from, and it was actually free player as well. Bit much so like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs as well, which is another one of their games. So what we do, we'll start it up. So you got a choice of 3 characters. You got Lancelot, Arthur, or Percival. Percival's pretty much slow and powerful. He's fast and he's got quite good speed, low power, and he's an all-rounder. So we'll pick Arthur. Players. So each one of you could pick one of the characters and go along. As you see, you've got a couple of different moves. You've basically got a slash, which is your normal attack. You've got a jump attack. You've got a block, which if you time right, you're invincible for a second or so. But if you time it wrong, you get sort of like knackered and you can't move. Like I can't move now when he does that. You've got a special attack, which you can press with the A button, or pretty much the attack and jump together, which is pretty much like the arcade. I can never quite remember it. There is a way of sort of doing that jump, so you can jump and turn around in mid-air, which is quite cool. But yeah, so basically scroll left and right. You attack his enemies. Oh. And what you've got as well is there is actually a bit of sort of an experience level system to this. The more you play, the more things you kill, the level goes up and up and up, and then you get better armor and stuff like that. Say the SNES version is pretty nice compared to the arcade. It's a pretty nice version. It doesn't look as good as the arcade, and it's like missing a lot of foreground detail in the arcade. There's like flags and all sorts of things, and down where the grass is at the bottom of the screen. It's missing a bit like that. It's missing a bit of detail here, and the graphic in all, it's a pretty nice version of the arcade game. Like say, obviously at the time when this came out, unless you had a hell of a lot of money on an arcade, there was no other way you were going to play it. So it is a pretty nice conversion of the arcade, to be honest. It's a little bit, like I say, playability. It's not super fast to play. It's a little bit slowish to play, and that's not just because of this character. So the air jump is quite good, but all in all, it's a pretty nice conversion of an arcade game. So I think what I'll do, the boss is coming up here in a minute, so I'll shut up and I'll play for a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll give you my sort of final review and final thoughts. See, as you bit, and I got slightly different armor now. I'm a little bit more powerful, which is pretty cool. You got that type of thing. So we'll carry on playing. Well, guys, I'm not going to continue with it. Yeah, say that's Knights of the Round on the Super Nintendo. I say compared to the arcade, it doesn't quite look as nice as the arcade, but pretty much everything from the music on the arcade is slightly better, and the unfortunate thing about this, the music's alright, but the sound effects are really muffled. Like in the arcade, the sound effects are a lot more, I know, they're a lot more meaty, but I suppose that goes with the Super Nintendo, doesn't it, really, to be honest, like. That's pretty, you know, a lot of sound effects and muffled on the Snes. It's just, I suppose, the way did his sound and music, really. Beat 'em up, or belt scroller, whichever you want to call him. Pretty good Snes game. This time, it's a pretty decent conversion of the arcade. Unfortunately, this game does tend to go for quite a bit these days. I have seen it in the past going for well over £100. But yeah, it's a pretty nice beat 'em up. I quite like it. I'm not particularly great at it, as you can see, but so if I was going to give it a mark, 8 out of 10. That's not bad. 8 out of 10 is pretty good. Capcom did a few other games on the SNES that were good as well. The Magic Sword being another Capcom arcade game I quite like as well. But yeah, 8 out of 10 I think I'll give this. Pretty decent if you do have the opportunity to play it on the SNES. Whether I will, I don't think it's worth paying £100 for it, mine, to be honest with you. So I don't know if you want to go for it, but have not emulate it, give it a go, or have a play of it on MAME, whichever. But yeah, pretty decent SNES game. Can't fault it. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next review. Bye now.